Yeah, once again, thank you so much, everyone, for attending our masterclass today. That's all around content marketing. As you know, this session is part of the Digital Pioneers program, which a lot of you have been attending series of masterclasses, inspirational talks, and hopefully getting one-to-one mentoring for all of you as well. And we're closer to the pitching event, which is in September. And just a reminder for everyone who wants to pitch and join that pitching event, you have to be able to have completed 3 master classes and have done 2 mentoring sessions to be able to join. And yeah, today is all about content marketing. We have a very special speaker, and that for me means both professionally and personally. Ili is a former colleague of mine. We used to work together for a client called 3M in an agency called Oliver, and we're very lucky to have Ili and for her to share her expertise today. Over a decade of B2B marketing and editorial experience, doing content strategy for various clients for Foundry. So I'll let you take it away, Ili. Tell everyone more about what you do and what our session is all about today. So take it away.
Sure. Hi, everyone. I guess it's afternoon for you. I'm Ili, as Ed mentioned. I'm a content strategist at Foundry. I've been doing this for a good 12, 13 years. Not at the same company, of course, many different ones, but principles are still the same. Content marketing, specialty in B2B, but also quite versed in B2C line as well. So I think I can start the session. Yeah. All right. Again, thanks for attending this workshop. The purpose for this content marketing workshop is not to teach you how to create content. There are 10 million websites, videos, articles online for you to look through. They will show you how to create content, etc. But I think around here it's more around the whys behind it, why you should consider content marketing for your business, what good examples look like, how to get started on the strategy instead of just creating the content. And hopefully it will change your perspective to see content as a holistic strategy and not as a one-hit wonder. So to start off, what is marketing? I think everyone roughly know what marketing is all about. It's just any action you take to attract an audience, essentially just to get them to be interested in you, so that and that is through demonstrating product value, strengthening brand loyalty, and also to increase sales. There are many different types of marketing. I think even before the time of smartphones, social media, we are already exposed to TV ads, billboards, infomercials, even physical flyers still stuffed into our mailbox. But with social media, and especially for someone like me who live on social media sometimes, we are exposed to few hundred messages every day. And with all these different channels, especially digital channels, businesses suddenly have a million ways to reach out to prospects and customers. So you have all sorts of different types of marketing, different types of marketing. I would not say that I'm an expert in every one of them. It's a world, it's a sea of knowledge of marketing out there. I don't think there's just one guru to call himself an expert. You'll notice also that within this, I did not put in anything, and there's no content marketing, and that's because content marketing is part of some. Your conversational marketing can be content marketing, print marketing can be content marketing, even interactive marketing can be content marketing. The lines are kind of difficult to draw right now, and because marketing is all related to one another. So that brings to what exactly is content marketing. I would see it as a marketing approach focused on creating and distributing valuable, relevant, and consistent content. This is to attract and retain audience that you have to clearly define. And ultimately, of course, as with any business goal, for profitable customer action, meaning the customer will purchase from you, engage your services and all that. The key difference of content marketing, what makes it so special is that it is very hinged on educating and engaging. So content marketing have three key pillars. I would see it as consistency. The content needs to be consistent. Your content marketing cannot be a one-off thing. You don't release a piece of video and then call it content marketing. It's an ongoing effort. Content marketing also places a lot of importance on relevance. If your content needs to speak and resonate with the audience on a deeper level, like around their pain points, their interests. And I think last would be the for it to be high quality. It needs to be good enough that it leaves an impression on them. It's kind of like to put it as layman as possible, it's a long-term relationship instead of just a date. You need to consistently remind them that you're there in a time where they need you the most and in a good way. So why content marketing as opposed to other forms of marketing? It's the opposite of set and forget style. You don't just throw random things outside and pray that it sticks, which sometimes we see on IG Reels or TikTok videos where people just pump up as much as they can. Hopefully something viral catches on and then blow up. So it's a much more deliberate, strategic way to go about it. When it's done right, it can increase your online visibility. With a good content strategy, it can help attract more customers and website visitors, and especially for people constantly looking out for solutions to their pain points. Oh, by offering educational and information content about a topic they're interested in can help to increase their visibility on your visibility online, whether it is through website or social media. It can also generate more leads. Now, since educating customers can build trust and help them feel more comfortable with your business, you can generate more leads and start to develop relationship with potential buyers. By offering content that informs consumers, you can start building trust. When you build trust with the end customers, potential prospects, for instance, it can help to build loyalty. And through this loyalty, it will evolve to become loyal customers, repeat purchases. And the last one is that it can improve authority. By authority here, it means to make you stand out like a leader. When you develop content that comes across as educational, informational, people will see you as, oh, this person really knows their stuff, and position you as an expert in whichever industry that you're in. So far, any questions? If you do, please, like feel free to ask anytime I pause. Okay. So what does good content marketing look like? I think as I mentioned earlier, it has to be educational. How is a little bit different than others is that you don't hard sell, you educate your audience. You leave the selling to the sales team, if you have them. If you don't, you can take it on after, you build a rapport with your target audience. Great content marketing does stay away from hard selling and focus on educational content to help readers solve a specific problem. It also should be engaging. Content is effective when your target audience actually want to watch your content. And that means your content shouldn't just be some wall of text. It's usually should be engaging by telling a story, using visual designs, having compelling words that's not too jargony most of the time. And that can help you engage and maintain attention. Good content marketing should also be easy to consume. Um, I mean, it doesn't have to be overly technical unless you're in the industry that demands it. But usually it should be something that's easy to consume, especially on the platform that makes sense. So for instance, let's say if you have an IG reel, you wouldn't put a technical case study on it. Or if you have a website, you wouldn't put 5 seconds videos on it because it just doesn't make sense. So always, a good content marketing campaign tend to be easy to consume where it is at. And the last part is that it should be, I'm just putting extremely there so that everything will be E. But well, I tried. Anyway, it has to be strategic because, even the most beautiful and visually engaging content wouldn't help you market anything if you don't keep in mind the people, the target audience you're speaking with, the timeliness, as well as the relevance. We do have some good examples of, good campaigns. A B2B example, I would say this marketer's guide to Twitch. I can send across this deck after, then you can click through and see, what makes it good. But why I do like this particular one, let me see if I can exit and show it. Hang on. Yeah, no, I'm not so sure how to walk the techniques for it. But I mean, we can pass it a link after the session. But this particular piece, I like it because visually it's extremely eye-catching. The content is also very comprehensive, which makes it really educational. But it also made it easy for readers to glance through short paragraph, frequent headings that makes it very easy to scan. And it also doesn't assume the reader knows things, so the readers will always be kept within that page. This is part of Twitch's campaign to get more marketers to spend ad money on them. So, when a marketer were to read and understand, oh, Twitch really knows their stuff, they'll be much more inclined to believe that, oh, Twitch to spend their money with Twitch. But that's also not to say that, content marketing is just for B2B. B2C companies also have a lot to gain. For my favorite example would be this barber from Hawaii. I'm sure you all have seen it somewhere on his TikTok or IG where, his clients will come approaching him half balding or whatever, and he managed to turn them to magic. So in this example, when you click it through, after I sent you the deck, he in his captions is very clear. He outlined the problems and the issue that this person has a receding hairline but has long hair. He gave advice on how to fix it. He did not even hard sell. In his caption, he said, "Oh, bring this to your barber. See how he can help you." And it works because his entire IG and TikTok are filled with videos where the customers start off with, "Oh, my wife saw your video on social media and decided to send me here." So that is the power of content marketing. Based from what he mentioned, he grew his business into a six-figure one through these videos. So I've talked quite a bit around the why you should consider content marketing. If anyone has any questions, I'll pause for a few seconds here and ask before I go on to the next part. Okay, so I can go on to the next one. So it's 3 steps to get started. Because now that you know what content marketing is about and reasons to consider, we can here are some ways for you to get started. I think the first one not the most important. I would say the coming 3 points are very important. The first one is of course to identify your why. Before you even jump into creating something, understand what problem is it that you wanna focus on. So content marketing can address, multiple marketing challenges, but it always really helps if you have just one priority goal. One easy way to do it is to identify points within your marketing funnel where the team struggles most to reach in terms of your marketing goal. So what does this mean? We will take a look at the marketing funnel. At the top of this funnel is where we want to generate traffic. So the red part would be known as top of funnel, green would be middle of funnel, and yellow would be bottom of funnel. So for the top of the funnel, this is where we want to generate traffic. In the analogy of dating, the top part is a part where I don't know you. So this is where you need to reach as many as you can. At this point, if your issue is your target audience not knowing that you exist, this is where you should focus your marketing campaign in. In the middle of the funnel, it's where they kind of know you exist, but they don't really know exactly why you exist or what you're good at. You have issues with people not understanding what you do or trust you with what you do. This is where you should focus your marketing efforts in. The last part is the one where your target audience know that you already exist and they trust you, but they might need a little extra push to convert into sale. If you have issues with conversion, this is the area where you should target. So once you kind of understand what your problem is, some questions that you can start asking yourself. what are you struggling to achieve through your current marketing initiative? Are you struggling to build your brand name? Are you struggling to generate marketing ready leads? Marketing ready leads are leads who are ready to receive your email, because there are sometimes when you're just flooded with emails from a company that you only click once, it's easy for them to just block you or unsubscribe. But if they are ready to accept, to learn more, to get more information from you, that's what we know as um, marketing ready leads. So this answering this will help dictate the goal for your content marketing initiative. The next one is, how big is this need or challenge? If it's really, for instance, if there is a severe lack of brand awareness, people don't even know you exist, and that's hindering you to sell, that should be your priority, your top priority for your content marketing. The third one is to define what success look like. It really depends. There's no right or wrong answer. It really depends on what your goal is. Is it to have more followers on social? Is it to increase the share of voice, meaning within your industry, you are very well known? Do you want more leads that are sales ready? This will then inform whether by measuring the outcome, this will inform whether your current campaign or initiative works. If yes, what have you been doing right? If not, what can be improved? What are the learnings that you can take away from? So after we've identified the why, we go into identifying your who, or your whom, and what's in it for them. So content marketing is about helping your audience accomplish your goals. And just like detailing your why, it can be helpful to first focus on a single audience persona. So this includes, understanding their demographic profile, their goals, their problems, where do they hang out to get information. So, for example, the barber, his target audience is clearly men who seem hopeless with hair. He's so focused on that his target audience naturally grew. Other people from other target audience are just drawn to his success on helping his target audience, and that's how he grew his business. So some questions to help you develop a detailed persona, and I think developing persona is a whole topic altogether that I think practices like UX focus so much on, and personas are is something that if you can build as detailed as possible, that will be the best. So some questions would be understanding who they are, what are their defining traits, what are the information gaps that stand in between them and their goals, why would they even care about your products and services. um, Questions that people tend to ask around this is, who should be answering these questions? And the answer that I can give you is, who shouldn't be answering, and that should not be your stakeholders or you, because you tend to be pigeonholed within your own business. So people who should be answering this would be, perhaps current customers that you have, prospects. Maybe they come by, talk to you about it, maybe ask them some questions, feedback, um, to understand a bit more about them. Referrals, existing network of family and friends. If you have family and friends who fit certain profile that you're looking for, ask them some questions that can help build up this persona. If not, you can try social media. LinkedIn is a place where you can also check out if B2B is your thing. For B2C, certain brands, especially if those with a little bit more following, you can post polls, you can post those kind of Q&A, and then you can kind of like get some of the questions. Okay, Josh asked, if your audience isn't super clear on what they want, how do you figure? Good question. So that's where we'll go next. So how do we actually know what is it that they want to solve for? So for instance, there are a couple of different types of personas. Let's go with the buyer's persona, which is the most common and is best for businesses looking to build their ideal customers holistically. So let's say you launch a website for professionals, and then this is where we build a persona of this person called John. age anywhere between 45 to 54 years old. His motivations is that he wants businesses to grow. He wants his business to grow and wants to be successful. But his biggest challenge right now is that he doesn't have enough time. He feel that he's behind in terms of, getting the skills that he needs to succeed. He finds difficulty in improving his businesses, etc. So we can see that in this persona, we don't know what actually they want, but you know that what challenge they have. So through this challenge, you actually come to discover the kind of content that you need to capture his attention and where your content should be. So for instance, for the case of John, he wants to build he wants his businesses to grow, but then he feel like he doesn't have enough time. So if you have this kind of website, you tend to come up with to understand him, you come up with certain kind of content that pushes out, tips on improving business. All the kind of content that actually address or talks to his challenges. And when you release this kind of content, it should be where he is lurking around. So if you see social network, he's on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram. So this kind of information is something that you can also get through interviewing people to build out this persona. So knowing that he sits on social network, is important if you want to succeed. It's important for you to have an active social media presence so that he sees that, this networking platform is a valuable time investment. I hope that answers your questions a bit, Josh. So there's another type of persona that is called the customer persona. It is best for retaining existing customers. So in this scenario, you're working in a luxury car company. This luxury car company is closely tied to high status members of society, and once they buy their first car, they tend to want to expand. So in that scenario, we have this persona called Robert, high flyer. He probably owns multiple companies and often takes clients out for meals to close big deals. Having an expensive car can add credibility to his personal brand. And when you build out Robert's persona, you'll kind of like sense that. And a new car every couple of years can actually satisfy this pain point of building credibility amongst his customers. So through this, you know that with a high luxury with a luxury car, they tend to come to dealership for maintenance. That's where a good content marketing, maybe you can, whenever you know that he's due for servicing, you'll send out his favorite sales rep. Sales rep can chat him up, get understanding of how he is doing, and then slowly talk him talk to me about, maybe there's some new cars upcoming. And then, with top-notch customer service or communications, it's much easier for you to sell like the second car. All right. So next, the last part of this three-step thing would be figuring out the how. But I know you might want to rush straight into creating the content, but first you need something that grounds everything, and that would be the content mission statement. This means centering your content experience to your brand's unique vision, priorities and principles, stories that you want to tell, and how each content will bring an overarching brand experience. This is important to distinguish your brand storytelling efforts from the others. Some questions to help you shape your mission statement is something, who are we as a company? What are we doing to help our audience? Yeah, so you can ask these questions when you want to help to shape your mission statement. A good example, something that I'm familiar with, is the website that I help to manage, which is CIO.com. So upfront, you can CIO.com is a leading global technology publication. We are talking about who are we? The audience that we serve. It attracts enterprise CIOs and business technology executive. What do we offer? Unparalleled peer insights and expertise on business strategy, innovation, and leadership. So a simple formula that can help you with this is, our company is where, who's your audience, fine, what kind of content, for, what benefit. So this will help to ground all your content. So whenever you throw out content, if you're a bit unsure, oh, what is this purpose for, you can always fall back to this mission statement. So that will having something that centers everything makes it much more holistic, and that you know that things wouldn't stray too far from what you're actually trying to address. All right, before we go to this section, anyone have any questions? You can type it in and then I can answer. Yeah, I see one. Oh yes, don't worry. We'll send this deck. Um, all the links are live as well. I also have my talking notes with some links further as well. So a lot of things for you to work with. If no further question, let me get a quick drink. And then we can see how we can put this content marketing strategy to work. So earlier part, we've decided who we want or who you want to talk to and with which stage of the marketing funnel you want to target. For instance, you want to generate more leads. Now we can start creating the content. But you tend to have questions. So what type of content formats should you create? What topics should you even cover? Where should you publish? How do you create and publish them? So I'm bringing back the marketing funnel. Remember where your challenge lies? This funnel can be mapped onto the buyer's journey so you know what kind of content and formats that you should be producing. This is not a glitch, it's supposed to be blank. So first, I mentioned a buyer's journey. So what exactly is a buyer's journey? It's to represent the path that your prospects or your target audience follow before making a purchase. A buyer's journey is you often, last time it's more associated to B2B marketing, but given the deluge of content today, it's becoming a useful tool to stand out. But when you type in buyer's journey, there will be multiple variations. It can be something as confusing as this. This is not too confusing, but it can be a little complex. And then it can even get even more complex. And this is because, the buyer's journey for someone who's looking to buy a $30 mascara, definitely not the same buyer's journey for someone who's looking at a $50,000 data center. But all the different buyer's journey that you can find online, and it's quite interesting. A lot of marketers come up with very specific ones. For instance, they have they have a buying journey for engineers, or they have buying journeys for retail, and that will help you kind of like understand how your customer within that sector typically thinks. But with all the variations, they all will have three key stages of awareness, consideration, and decision. At the awareness stage, what they are doing is more educational research to clearly understand, frame, and give a name to the problem opportunity that they've identified. At the consideration stage, they are committed to researching and understanding all available approaches or methods to solving the defined problem or opportunity. At the last stage, the decision stage, is where the prospect has decided on their solution strategy, method, or approach. So, how does this coincide with the marketing funnel? It might be a little bit simplistic to say top of funnel is for awareness, middle of funnel is for consideration, and bofu is for decision, but it tends to follow this. It's a little bit loose. Sometimes tofu can span awareness consideration, but we'll keep it a little bit more simplistic for this case. Again, a lot of resources online that you can read, but it can be a bit of a rabbit hole sometimes if you read through. So at Tofu, it is actually about engaging, informing, and educating your target audience. So the content over here should introduce your brand, make the audience aware of the problem that you are trying to solve. So some of the content that you might be able to find under the Tofu section would be blog posts targeting common struggles, short videos explaining whatever trends that they have, checklists, even, sometimes some fun bite-sized content that might not be as relevant, but at least it brings your name out. On the Mofu, now it's getting a little bit serious. We are trying to build trust and provide information that they need to evaluate their options. At this stage is where they will start comparing your brands to competitor brands. They'll be learning more about the solution and trying to see the kind of tangible results that they can gain from your product or services. Typical content types that you can find over here are in-depth guides, detailed social posts exploring specific challenges, comparison charts, how-tos as well. At the BOFU stage, it's where you want to convert prospects into customers, and you do this by offering them that last bit of information that or reassurance that you need, that just that final push to decide. As consumers, what's your favorite thing to get at the last part that makes you decide to get? Free trial, testers, live demos, discounts. Sometimes reading testimonials about other users is very helpful in making your decision. So, you know, one I haven't covered yet, and I probably wouldn't cover, is where should you publish the content? And that actually depends on where your persona consumes content the most. So that again falls back to building your persona. Are they boomers who are always on Facebook Googling for solutions in their posts instead, or are they savvier users who, hang around maybe review sites to see, X product is better than Y product. What's the difference in price and things like that. Again, always depends on where your persona is hanging around. No right or wrong answer. And it can also be a trial and error to find out where you should be producing your content. So how does this translate into, kind of like a real life example? I'll share with you one that RF shared. So RF is a SEO software suite company. They provide services around SEO, pay-per-click, content marketing. And for them, they are very clear with their mission statement. A bit of a mouthful, but let me try. They are a leading marketing intelligence platform powered by big data that helps marketers run their SEO, content marketing to drive business impact. So for this particular scenario, we'll have their persona that they call Billy Blogger. So Billy Blogger realized that he needs to find ways to get more traffic. He reads up all about the different types of traffic growth methods and things that SEO might be the answer to his problem. He then start researching about it. Content that Billy Blogger likely have encountered here would be podcasts. Perhaps he heard an influencer or an expert talking about importance of SEO, and then that's where, it might be something that helps me with my issue. Maybe he saw LinkedIn posts by some marketing leader. Maybe he was Googling around, saw something interesting, and he was like, oh, maybe this is my problem. So type of content, you can see website, podcast, LinkedIn posts, influencers. Channels, again, it could be everywhere. So the next part is after he did quite a bit of research, he realized, oh, he can't really do SEO without the tools. So the next stage is where he started to figure out what kind of tools are available for me to use. When he comes up with a list of tools that's available, that's where he start comparing. Is tool X better than tool Y? Is it better for use in my industry? What do other people what do the customers say? So in this stage is where things go a little bit in depth. You get case studies, you'll watch comparison videos, you check out ebooks that maybe the provider of the tool provider offers to see, what kind of tangible benefit that they can that Billy Blogger can gain out of it. After he has done his short list, he decided, okay, I think RF might be one that I want to go with, but I just want to be extra sure. So for RF, what they offered is a 7-day trial. That option that seems to look the best. So Billy Blogger tried it, seems to like it, but he still wants to do a little bit more research into the pricing and features. So the kind of content that he probably will see would be, in-depth product guide, he definitely took the trial. He definitely went to the product payment page, maybe backed off a bit because he just wants to see the price. He could have also engaged with a salesperson from RF just to understand a bit more on how it can benefit, how it can be tailored for his blog. So that's how, the buyer's journey look like, how each part of how content at each stage can help him make the decision. So the thing would be that you don't have to be across all three. It all again depends on what your pain points are. So for instance, for me, let's say my problem is that, um, businesses know that I exist, but they don't really know what I do. So where I will try to pour my efforts in would be under the consideration part. This is where I will put out more useful information for audience to understand my solution, what problem I'm trying to solve a little bit better. I out in maybe I might release an ebook. I outline the problem very detailed that it speaks to them. When they see us, like, oh, this is the same thing I'm going through. You offer solutions that might not be exactly yours. You tell them that, oh, it can help you achieve XYZ, and then that compels them even further to understand what you're about. If you want a more consumer example, I would say a CrossFit. Okay, a more consumer example would be a CrossFitter with a sprained ankle. Under the awareness stage, a CrossFitter woke up one day with an injured foot. He doesn't know how that happens, but he vaguely remembers seeing videos on plyo-related injuries, jumping injuries. He reads up a bit, Google things. Maybe he saw some medical blog or orthopedic blog, and he realized, oh, maybe I do have a sprained ankle after all. So under the consideration stage, he is already aware of the sprained ankle. Now he's looking for different solutions to alleviate the pain, manage it better. Should he use a topical cream, or would an ankle guard work better? If it's an ankle guard, what kind of ankle guard should work better for him if he wants to continue training? He realized, oh, he probably saw my IG carousel post on how to work through an injury. And then he said, hey, this ankle guard probably might work better for me because he's training for high rocks, for instance. Under the decision stage, after he searched for a suitable ankle guard, he shortlisted my company and said, oh, okay, I think this ankle guard might work better, but is it really good? He actually saw, he probably saw some videos that I released on how, some prominent footballers actually use the ankle guard. And then he decided, okay, if the product is good enough for, professional footballers, it should be good enough for me. So as the seller, as the CrossFitter go to my website, suddenly he saw, oh, there's a limited offer, 5% if I were to buy today. So that prompted him to make the purchase. So you can see how content marketing can help to drive, buyers, from knowing you into a straight, I think through to making the purchase with you. And if you notice, it's not something that you push into the face of the consumer saying that, hey, check out my stuff, buy it now. It's more subtle, it's more educational, informative, and engaging. So, hang on, okay. So I know we did mention, content types like website, podcasts, comparison videos, case studies, but there are so many more types of content that, you can. What I mentioned earlier is just a short snippet. Again, Google, eCosher, or whichever search engine that you use, DuckDuckGo, whatever, it is always the best resource to find different types of content, how to create them, how to utilize them, because even I can't keep up because my sphere of work is usually under the boring side of white papers, ebooks, e-guides, technical executive viewpoints. So especially if you are in the B2C side of things, so many things that you can try out. Mobile apps, you want to try demos, you want to try TikTok, Snapchat, seasonal landing pages. Let's say for Christmas, you talk about, sometimes it's really hard to find fathers a Christmas gift, and then you talk, then you can educate readers on what fathers might actually like, things like that. Yeah. Again, it is not an exhaustive list. So many ways to get your branding out. So, when it comes to content creation, especially for those with very limited resources to create content, people will ask, Jenny, yay or nay? Personally, I'm a nay person only because my industry, the target audience that I speak with are actually CIO, C-level executive. So if you use something that's generic, they'll just shut off. But for those, I mean, not all of us can dedicate so much time to create content. So, Gen AI are great tools, like ChatGPT, Midjourney are great to help you not create not just words but also images and videos. It can help to give the extra helping hand, but always remember that it cannot be used wholesale. There was an article that I read, research by these ladies, scary actually. It started off as something as simple as, oh, can you summarize my article for me? And it turns out that Gen AI has been lying to her. So it's always important for you to know your content before actually using, or know what is it that you want to promote or educate, what kind of content you want to push out before using your Gen AI. So, instead of just creating, like content itself, a few things that you can use AI, Gen AI for is number one, to generate content ideas. Let's say you have kind of an idea of how, you have a big idea, but you don't know, you want to find alternative. Generating content ideas, Gen AI is great for that. You can also create video scripts with Gen AI. Um, so long you have kind of like a big vision, you have a vision of what you want to create, put in the prompt for, how to for video scripts, and then they can, for what I've been told, that they can come out with something for you. So, right, spin-off content from a bigger asset. Yes. So let's say you have what we like to call a hero asset. It's maybe it's a huge guide to content marketing, for instance. Maybe I created something that is 20 pages, but I want to create something small and bite-sized to put maybe on Instagram or on Facebook or LinkedIn. Gen AI, when you put in your content within Gen AI, can help to spin off, come up with some smaller bite-sized content based off your bigger asset. That might help with data accuracy, because if you to give the system a set of information that you it's already from you, that they'll scrape off from whatever that you provide them, it tend to be just from that. We can also use Gen AI to analyze your content performance. We could be you take a look at maybe your content asset, and then you realize, oh, this part does very well, but the last few parts are not super great. That's where you can ask Gen AI, hey, why is this part doing so much better than this? Any reasons for that? And then, from there on, after you analyze this, use that learning to improve on the next content marketing campaign. That would be the next one, where it's optimized for next campaign or initiative. You realize that, hey, this video is great. Maybe then you can ask Jenna, can you create a video that is similar to this with XYZ factors in it? Because you have identified these factors are what makes this content marketing campaign successful. The thing with Gen AI, the TLDR for is that the most effective strategies will blend automation or Gen AI with human editorial judgment. So always review it, just double check, oh, okay, this is right. It's accurate, that you can use. The thing I think with Gen AI that I'm most hesitant about is the accuracy. And I think in my industry, once something is not accurate, you lose credibility, and that's it. So it's not something that I touch, unless worst case scenario, I'm on a crunch time and I just need different headlines. That's the most that I would use. Yeah. But please don't feel scared to use it if you need it. Couple of different tools that you can try out apart from Gen AI. You have Jasper that can create um content marketing for your business. AnyWord that helps with advertising, social media. AI compliance is, let's say you want to make sure that the content that you have complies with certain regulations, for instance. I think Writer can help with that. Right Sonic is specific for content marketing. Whereas Writer is kind of like, not saying a knockoff, but it's just a bit cheaper than, let's say, if you get Pro ChatGPT. Because sometimes what I heard about ChatGPT is that It's very generic. And when you read it, you know that it is ChatGPT, I guess. And I just put pseudo write for fun. Let's say if you want to write stories, you decide to write stories, pseudo write would be great for that. But always keep in mind, I think at the end of the day, the content that you have should be authentic. Sometimes you make mistakes and that's fine, but the authenticity, or you can tend to see authenticity when you mean it through the content, and that's what I think readers, target audience, and users actually would want to see today, like a bit more authentic content. Any questions? I think this actually is the last slide, and I do have some last words before I open the floor to whatever questions you have. For the last words, I think um, the most important thing about content marketing strategy would be the strategy. Don't run one infographic, call it a success because it is a marathon, not a sprint, not a one-hit wonder. A strategy is only good if you measure its success. So I think earlier in the point one of defining the why to content marketing, the success metric that you define, use it often. See, does this piece of content work? Does this campaign work? Is it successful? Is it not? Take the learnings, iterate it to the next campaign. The third point is it's very important to remember because and it's very easy to be discouraged because with a lot of things you're gonna flop the first time, second time, third time, fourth time, maybe. The good thing about content marketing is not too expensive to fail. But you just gotta accept it, learn fast from your mistakes. Again, what's the silver lining from it? You can rosebud on it. Rose meaning, what's the best thing? What things work? Bud meaning, oh, what things seems to have potential. Thorn would be what are the bad things that you want to get rid of. Run through a rosebud thorn through a campaign. Grab the learnings, grab whatever potential, put it in the next measure again, and repeat. I mean, with practice, you can be successful, I'm sure. And the last part is very easy, especially if you have stakeholders, is please don't lie to yourself. You might be proud of, wow, this piece of content looks beautiful, but it's not giving you results. If it doesn't give you results, most often time it's not relevant for that particular campaign. You don't have to throw it out outright, but maybe reprioritize, take a step back, reprioritize. What would be good with this content? If it's still not giving me the results, should I still use it? If it doesn't serve you, create something else. Otherwise, you can shelve it a bit. You can shelve, that piece of content a bit. Once maybe when it's the right time, you can refresh it and then use it. And I think that's all that I have. I managed to talk through for 1 hour, almost an hour. Yes. I know it's quite a bit, and I'm sure you probably will need to take some time to digest. But if you have any questions you want to type into the chat, now's a great time. I can answer them.
Yeah, thanks, Ili. And feel free to also, if you wanted to ask the question, just speak out. Feel
Mm-hmm.
free as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
We have one
I
from
see.
Rosalind. Yeah.
Yes. Can you show the funnel slide? Yes, sure. Certainly. Hang on. I have a couple of funnel slides. This one. Yep. The tofu, mofu, and bofu. Yep. So don't worry, I will send again I will send this across to you after this presentation. It has my call notes, I say it has a presentation notes, the links are all working. Look through it if you still have questions because sometimes it's a bit for me personally when I have a presentation, I wouldn't ask a question right up front because I still need to digest. How do you find balancing time management with all that required to do effective marketing, particularly for business or those without dedicated person to do so? Good question. How do you find balancing time with all that? Yeah, okay. So I would say content marketing, you don't have to start big, just start something small. It could be so for instance, let's say I want to generate traffic. let's say I'm a single person, I'm a lone business person. I want to make my business known. Maybe my what product can I have? Yeah, my product could be I want to sell bottles, but no one knows my name yet. So from there you can identify, okay, which channels is it? I'm assembling a freelance team. Okay, I'll answer question one by one first. Yeah. So from Kieran, how do you find balancing time management? So I would say start small, start very, very small. You don't have to go big or go home. It's something that can be scaled when you are ready. It can start small. So maybe identify an area that you want to improve first. Do you want to get your name out first? Do you want to generate leads first? If you want to generate traffic, you want to get your name out for brand awareness, start something small. Maybe it could be as simple as starting your first Instagram page, post some relevant content to get started. But I do advise that before you get started on any action, take a step back, identify what problem you want to solve, who you want to talk to, and how do you want to talk to them. Maybe that could be the first step. Then from there, then you can start small. Ah,
We have one from Josh. Yeah.
yep. What's one type of content most early founders overlook but actually works really well? Hmm, interesting question. Most early founders overlook but that actually works really well. To be honest, I feel okay, one of the startups that I thought did so well was Peak Design. So they started off as a Kickstarter, a small one, and now they are really a big business. And what draw mm, so what drew me to Peak Design was their videos to explain exactly what their bag is about. They didn't particularly say buy me. They identified that there's a problem with photographers not being able to fit things well. So they talk about their thought process. They talk about how their solution actually solve the problem. So I guess to your question, Josh, content early founders overlook. Maybe you can share a bit more around the process as well as the solution, as well as the problem you're trying to solve. I think oftentimes people people rush straight into, hey, I have this product, instead of, I understand your problem. Here's how I can fix it for you. Hope that answers.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I saw Rosalind. Sorry, I'm just catching up on the chat. Yeah, I saw Rosalind saying that assembling freelance team of interns and friends. Yes, correct. I guess in marketing you can't do it all alone. So having some freelance, a small group of freelancers, or even you have friends who who happen to be, oh, they might be great at designing or writing. Maybe chat with them a bit. Maybe you can help out during the first few months. If they're if they have time to help you out, then maybe you can reimburse them with something. Yeah.
Yeah. While we wait for other questions, I have just in relation to Josh's
Mm-hmm.
and Kieran's question,
Mm-hmm.
and thinking of all the other like young founders you work with at Launchit. What would
Mm-hmm.
you say, assuming you have ironed out your strategy, you know your
Mm-hmm.
buyer, you know your customer,
Yeah.
what do you think are the bare minimum content for you to actually, I would use this loosely, like exist as
Right.
a business? Because sometimes
Right.
it's going straight to selling, but
Mm-hmm.
like,
Mm-hmm.
what do you think is like that bare minimum? You just have to have these things first.
Yes. Okay. Good question. So what I've noticed with a lot of startups, small businesses, is that they bypass the website. I do think that websites are very important because IG is great. I think a lot of them like to start on IG. So they start on Instagram, you get to know. But sometimes when you want to learn more, you do want a website to understand who is the person who's the person behind this idea. What are the other things that you sell? Because sometimes when you read things within an app, for instance, it's a little bit hard to dig in deeper into whatever that they have. So I would say a website, number one, your about us, and probably having your kind of like mission statement, because then it will highlight to readers what is a problem that I'm trying to solve. It could be as simple as, oh, I want to make everyone feel very confident with beautiful nails. Something like that is also fine. But at least have I do believe you should have a website. Yes. Website, maybe have a blog, and that I feel is a bare minimum. Yeah. Yeah, but also it could be a bit different for B2C, because I know even as a end user myself, I do like to experiment it myself. When I see a website, sometimes I do want to know how much does this actually cost, and there's none. So again, understand your audience a little bit. And because sometimes the problem that they face also is that there is no transparency in how much certain things are. It could be that. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Ili. Do we have any
No
other
worry.
questions from everyone in the call? Yeah, and like we said, we're gonna share the presentation after. So
Mm-hmm.
if you have further questions after digesting everything, just feel free to message us back. But yeah, any other questions before we wrap things up?
Mm-hmm.
I think that should be it. And yeah, just
Yep.
before we end, first of all, thank you so much, Ili, for doing this session. Really, really great session on content marketing. And for the next session, that'll be our last masterclass. It's all about data analytics and SEO. But after that, we will have a pitching workshop session to prepare everyone who would want to pitch. And like we said, just make sure you have completed the master classes, like three of them, and your mentoring sessions so that you qualify to that virtual pitching event. And everything is on the website, launchit.org.uk/digital pioneers. And the next session we have is an inspirational talk um, on July 16th. So 2 Wednesdays from now, we will have Michael Akin Fisoye. So he is a founder of multiple businesses and very passionate about helping young people um, set up businesses with a focus on well-being and a little bit of infusing fitness into the founder's life and how that translates to business growth and yeah, so we hope to see you then and catch you on the next masterclass. And thanks again, everyone. Thank you, Ili, and enjoy the sun. It seems to be coming out. Yeah, and we'll send you the resource link as well.
Yep. And if you guys have further questions, also can just drop it to Ed and team, and then you can just forward to me. More than happy to address any.
Yeah, thank
Yeah.
you so much,
Thank
everyone.
you.
Yeah, Josh says thanks. Dylan as well. See you guys.
Yes.
Cheers. Thanks.
Thank you.
Bye.
Cheers.
Thank you, Ili.